Yes. طبعا.
I have one point starting from what you said in talking at the end of the slide about the manageable and non-manageable problems.
Yes.
So I don't know about Jordan or in KFUPM. The students come to the higher education here and they lack the self-expression skills. Because the way they have been taught in the elementary and during these 9 years, they just it's almost one way function actually. So the students don't self-express themselves. Sometimes I find it difficult to understand the students. And, is he facing some problems? For example, I don't know if you have faced such problems, for example, in KFUPM or in other countries.
Yes, thank you, Brother Ali. Look, I'm working KFUPM since very long time, and I think you know and appreciate that KFUPM takes the cream of the students, even though we have some problems. But now, if I look back 10 years back, the students were much lower in their performance, in their skills, in their abilities, in their looking to the higher education in general than now. Now we have students who can they express themselves, and they have already some skills built in coming from the higher education, from the 12th and 11th year in the secondary schools. I'll tell you a story. One of my students, I was teaching training a skills course. One of my students, he was having a problem of, he cannot speak. What's called in English? Yeah, I mean he cannot speak. If he wants to say his name is Muhammad, for example. He can say, I was very, painful. It was painful to me to listen to him. I was training a skills course, and he has to do some presentation. And with this situation, I'm sure he could not do it at the very beginning. Now, with motivation from me and with his colleagues, with some encouragement, by the end of the semester, he made a very good presentation. To that extent, he could not say his name, and at the end he made a presentation. Okay, what was that presentation? He said, I cannot do it. He said he could not do it at all. He said, okay, no, you could do it and you will be better than other students. And he started, he stood before the students. He said, what I should talk? He said, okay, talk anything. Just tell your name. Tell your story. Talk about your roommate. Talk about anything. You can read, even you can read from a paper. You can do anything. You know, the time he stood before the students, that was a challenge for him. If he broke that challenge, he could continue. And that's what he did. Yes, you are right. We have less, skilled students. But our aim, our role is to uplift their skills and their knowledge so that they can meet the standards. Of course, each university has its own standards. And what about if he has to talk in English and make a presentation in English? Again, he has a problem. I had another student who had only one hand. The other hand is short, like this, only. And the other hand is okay. And he said, I cannot stand before students and speak anything. Again, they say that students, he made a very good presentation. Our role is just to motivate the students, encourage the students. This is a skill by itself. And we can, the more we practice, the more we try, the more we have experience, the more we share experience with others and get experience from others, the more we can do the things efficiently. And again, I said that we have to generate the skills. We have to generate. Means we have to know what type of skills to use, at what time, in which place, for what reason. This is why gentleman here said that, I mean, skills are already scheduled in the syllabus. I said, I'm not talking about these things, which are already. I'm talking about how to have the best out of what I have. I have 15 students, or I have 100 students. What is the goal I am aiming to? What is the target I have? If I have a target that 50% of the students will be up to this level, academic-wise, skills-wise, attitude-wise, if I reach that 50%, I am successful. But if my target was 90, then the challenge will be more, and I have to generate more skills. Of course, in this workshop, we cannot talk about all the skills which we can face and we have. We'll talk about some of these, and we'll practice some, inshallah, so that we can. So these are some of the classroom activities that can transfer to skills, and I'm sure that you are using, if not all, some of them in your class. Of course, depending on the subject you are teaching. Discussion. Who's that does discussion? All of us do discussion. Discussion, two-way discussion, or two-way discussion, or one to all, or pairs, or groups. So discussion. So why do we need discussion? Discussion means we want to open the brains, open the mind, so that we can have more ideas. And we always say that two opinions doesn't mean one opinion. 1 + 1 doesn't mean 2, means 3 opinions, if not more. So discussion, generate more. And now, role play, interviews. Of course, not all of the subjects are, not all of these are suitable for all. Stimulation and motivation. Brainstorming is a skill by itself. Brainstorming, just don't put any constraints on the subject. Okay, from scratch. Give ideas. We use this in the creative thinking, by the way, when we talk about creative thinking, especially in some of the courses. Okay, don't put any constraints, don't put any pre-assumptions. Okay, tell me what do you think about this subject. Some of these skills or some of these activities we can start with as a motivation. You know, in the training, I think those who took TOT training for trainers, we had trained that we have this circle. We have to close it. We start with why. Why for motivation, for activation, for preparation. Then we start, shift to what. Then we go to how. Then we end it with what if, which is the simulation and the scenarios, the benefits, the outcomes. So starting with why, we can use any of these in the why. Like storytelling is a skill. We can start the subject, any subject, by story, short story. While coming to the university, I met with my friends, and he told me, why you are in a hurry? I said, I have a class now. And you start just talking, just to students will say, oh, what he's going to talk. Then break it. You don't have to continue. Okay? And so on. These things. Reporting, picture narrating, describing, problem-based learning, finding these differences, and so on. So these are some of the activities that we can use as, one of the skills which is called in the introduction skills. Or maybe at the end, when we want to, finalize and terminate. How to solve the problems? Of course, we have this triangle you have with you, problem solving. We take any problem and we can follow this wheel, we call it, to solve any problems. Now, if we take, for example, the language barrier problem, how we solve it? Of course, this is actually inherited from a long time. Of 12 years in the schools and 6 years before getting the schools. And not only the barrier, the language barrier, the difference between the students. is again a problem. How to manage and influence skilled language students with a very low performance or language proficiency students, especially when we're talking about English. So we have also to manage these things. This is one of the ways to use it. We have to do it. I don't want to go over it, because you please go over it and see how can we do it. Now, we have to do one exercise now before we continue on the skills themselves. I want some volunteers from this side and from this side. And whatever your subject is, whether math, physics, computer, medicine, law, language, English, engineering, agriculture, veterinary, any of these subjects. Now, how do you deliver your classroom session? Right now. So I want you please to think, write for a minute, and you have to speak for only 2 minutes about how you deliver your classroom session, so that we can share the information. And since we have videotaping, you will be seeing your colleagues' information later, inshallah. So any volunteer to start with? So everybody has to prepare for 2 minutes session. Just think for 1 minute and talk about 2 minutes. Ready? Okay, this is one from this side. Any volunteer from the other side? Okay, ladies first. تفضلي يا أختي. You have to come here.
Okay, I have 2 types of courses I deliver. First one is theoretical and practical one in College of Clinical Pharmacy. And another one is just a practical one. This is for the final year in the College of Clinical Pharmacy. So the first one, which is theoretical and practical, we start the session, start the lecture with just brainstorming. What do you think we'll take in this course? So they put in their mind, what they think they will take in this course. Then I just change what they are saying, just simple modification. Then we start the lecture. I usually use audio visual. I put videos. I ask them to share their knowledge. I ask them to just repeat what they said, what they learned from the video. And at the end, I give them the lecture, the theoretical part. After they just have the brainstorming and other activities. The other course is just a practical one. It's in the hospital. So it only depends on the students. Problem solving, mainly problem solving. They interview the patient, they gain the information, they make the plan for the patient. I just make a fine adjustment at the end. What's wrong here? This information resource is not suitable for this patient. You have to use this. So I think it's depending on the course itself.
Yes. How long is the first one?
The first one, I think 50 minutes.
50 minutes. The
yes.
second one
the
is
second
open.
one is 1 month.
Open.
Yes, it's open. 1 month, 6 hours a day.
So again, please, what is your role in the second one?
The second one, I'm a clinical preceptor. So I am with the students in the hospital, attending the round, attending the whole day in the hospital as a clinical pharmacist.
Okay. Then whatever you give them in the lecture, they are practicing in the skillfully in the
No,
lab.
the lecture is something else. The lecture is the first years, but in the last year it's a comprehensive one. It's gaining knowledge from different disciplines, and they apply it to the patient.
So what is the knowledge part in the second one?
In the second one, for me, I teach oncology.
Oncology.
So the knowledge part is how to adjust the chemotherapy plan, the plan for the patient.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, madam. Okay, another volunteer? Shabab. بدنا واحدة ثانية تستعد ويطلع لنا واحد من الشباب. Anyone, please come. Sally. Your name and your name first.
My name is Salah Al-Eid. Well, you asked about my major. My major is food science, food processing. I teach some courses. One of them is cereal chemistry because this is my main major actually. In this course, the course itself has two parts. This is the basic science. This is the first part. The basic science, it's about the nature of cereals, especially the wheat, rice, corn, and other varieties. This is one thing. The ingredients themselves, the function of ingredients during the process. This is the first part. We cover the milling and so on. In this part actually, I always focus on the basics because most of our students, they don't realize that the basic is very important for them. So I always go to the basic and ask them about the basics. For example, the protein, what are the elements of the protein, what are the functions of proteins and so on. Once they understand the basics, they will understand the next step actually. This is in the first part. I spend maybe 7 to 8 weeks in this part. In the second part, it's the most interesting part. It's about processing, how to make flat bread, Arabic bread, English bread, how to make several types of cakes, macaroni, spaghetti, cornflakes, and so on. The manufacturing process, they will learn it by default actually. But I focus on the most critical issues, for example, how to control the microbial growth using, instead of chemical preservatives, using the natural preservatives actually. So they might add some essential oils, some flowers extracts, some spices and so on to control the microbial counts. How to replace the scientific dyes and chemicals, the red color, and also with the natural colors. For example, instead of using red, for example, 350, they can extract the red color from the red pepper, and they can extract also the yellow color from the carrot, the orange color, the yellow color also from the peel of the lemon, and so on. So I let them just brainstorm, and also how to go to nature actually, because this is very important. It's a new trend in the food processing nowadays actually. This is one point. The other point is how to develop new products actually. How to make students, for example, and children's design a product to let them eat, for example, vegetables, fruits, dates, and so on. They will not eat them just as on their natural state. So we have to be creative and evolve them in the pastries and other things. And this is what's so-called new products development. This is very important area because, for example, if you look to Nestle, from each 20 products they develop in the market, only one will succeed. So as you see, but they will gain a lot and cover the expenses of the 19 products. One excellent example, I always mention the cat. We all ate it when we were kids. It's almost now 50, 60 years products, and it's still in the market. So a new product development also will just motivate students to brainstorm and work in groups also, group discussions.
Thank you very much.
Sure.
One question. What are the attitudes at the end of the course? What you are after to have in their minds after they graduated?
Well,
In short, please.
Yes, they always look for good institutes to work with, for example, so the FDA and so on. Also, as a dietitians in the hospital.
You mean the appreciation the subject's
Yes,
outcome.
yes,
Thank you very
sure,
much.
sure.
Shukran. يعطيك العافية. One more. هاشم صبايا. تفضل. I have 3 hands. All of you, 3. 3 comes here, please. 3 of you comes here. You second and third, please. تفضل. In short, please tell what's your name and what's your subject, and very shortly tell how you deliver your course.
ماجد السعيد كلية علوم الحاسب. I teach software engineering. So when I start, normally before I first class, I introduce my students to the course. And the first thing I do, I ask them what they expect when they finish this course, what they expect to learn. And I listen to them.
Yeah.
And I always let them remember their answers. Then I show them the learning outcome of the course, and I explained it. Normally they don't understand it. They don't know what are these things. And step by step, normally I give PowerPoints. It has some theories. But unfortunately, since software engineering is software, one of the problems is intangible. You cannot see it.
Yes.
Not like other disciplines. So I have to give them examples. Normally when I teach girls, and I give them examples like about fashions, and I compare it with software engineering, or for example, cooking. With boys, normally I give them cars. Example, it's the same concept. So
Yes.
so engineering has the same concept. So I ask when I like to explain, for example, maintainability, I will give them the car. Or if I explain something, I will engage sports. So it's easier for them to understand. And when I explain something and I feel they understand it, I will connect it to the learning outcomes. And I let them remember something. I let them remember their answer at the beginning. Normally I compare when I finish the course. Of course, the course has two sections. One is theory with me, and practical with another colleague. Normally we teach the same thing. It's just me, the theory, the concepts, and they have to go there and practice in the lab. At the end of the course, normally I ask them again what they have learned and what are the differences between when they started the course and after the course. And alhamdulillah, I see after the course they have very good understanding about the field, and it's like they are ready for the next step with other courses in the department.
شكرا جزيلا. يعطيك العافية. تفضل my friend.
Well, I'm Dr. Abdurrauf Khan from Computer Sciences, and first of all, I try to actually, my point there is that I concentrate on motivation. I try to students to look at me, understand what I'm saying, so I use certain techniques sometimes.
Like what?
Like I may ask you where from I am, So I try to ask them to have a curiosity, to get motivated that I'm going to tell you something. Okay. Oh, you mean?
Yeah, it's for him, not for me.
Okay. I was thinking actually some Jordanians do love me.
We do.
Because I taught in Jordan also.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Thank you.
So this is the motivational point sometimes. Right?
Right, yes.
Yeah,
yes,
it is like this thing. So people try to remember me this way, the way I talk to them, and I like this. So if they are the students, like boys, I go to them. Even if there is a student, maybe he's not concentrating, I just ask him, okay, what was your dream, whom you saw in your dream, so every time he is now concentrating always to look at me, whatever I'm going to deliver to him. There may be girls sometimes, generally because I teach girls also, but they are behind the screen. I try to recognize their voice. So whenever they speak, okay, I tell them, okay, this is Haya. Yes, what is your question? And sometimes I try to understand where she is generally sitting, yani.
Oh.
So I may tell Fatima, or she just thinks that I'm just looking through the glass and I can see her. So that makes, motivates them to look at me and to understand my questions too. Like, and then generally I ask them when I start, I tell them, for example, at the end of the class, if you are not asking me anything, that means you have not understood anything. So if you have understood,
You should ask.
then you should ask something about that. That's basically the techniques I try to use it. Even
Thank
though
you.
I teach computer science courses, but these are there, I challenge them, I give them some questions, and I try to
Thank you,
answer
Dr.
them.
Abdul Rauf.
Welcome. Yeah.
Yes, my friend.
sir.
How are you?
Hi, I'm fine, sir. So I'm Efren. I'm teaching in the College of Clinical Pharmacy. I'm specializing in the simulation laboratory. So basically, we're in the medical field. So what I initially say to my student is that we don't have any rooms of mistakes in our profession because we're handling lives of our patients. So in terms of my teaching, so what I normally do is first I conduct my lecture demonstration. Of course, before that, the objectives and the activities planning were done by the theoretical professors. So I'm more of the practical side. So what I normally do is I do the lecture demonstration. Like for example, if I'm going to teach how to take a blood pressure, so I'm taking time, exact time, to show how to properly demonstrate this certain procedure. Then afterwards, I let my students to do the hands-on demonstration, wherein they're the ones who do the procedure. Then after that, after a few days, we have this return demonstration, which is the graded, which will be graded by the instructor. So in this way, we can you can assess the skills of our students before they have their hospital duty.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it. Shukran.
You didn't mention that you have an excellent tool. You have a dolls.
Sorry. Sorry.
The doll just simulating the real life in the hospital.
Yeah.
The doll can cover. We have a baby and we have an adult.
Yeah, so I'm handling a mannequin. So imagine I'm handling a mannequin. So all the procedures that I'm teaching with this mannequin, the next step that our student will be done is in the hospital. So they will do everything in actual patients.
Real, yes, real
So
patients.
just to minimize the risk of this, procedures.
Mistakes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
you.
Appreciate it. Okay. Any other volunteer from this side? من مكانها تقدر تتكلم. You can stay and speak from your side. تفضل. Can you please come here and is it a question or a contribution?
It's a comment.
Comment, yes.
The performance of my colleagues. Can I?
Can we wait till the end of the...
Okay.
Thank you.